Are cops really that bad in US as shown in Internet? As in many things in America, it depends wildly on where you are. As an ex-journalist, I had to deal with a lot of cops, and I found a lot of them, especially in small communities, to be fundamentally decent. However, the way that I kind of ended up was that though there are good individuals within the institution, as a whole, the institution is fundamentally flawed. In the way that it trains its people, in the way that it views violence, in a way that it views the communities it ostensibly protects. That, and simple tribalism means that people who are, individually, good people, can still circle the wagons around harmful people who corrupt the institution as a whole. One bad apple spoils the whole bunch, as it were. And in an institution that we place trust in to arbitrate justice and decide in some cases who lives and who dies, we must demand reach the highest possible standards. Edit. Disabling replies to this, as there are far too many to properly deal with. In response to common questions. Yes, of course race and other minority statuses, as well as socio-economic status, have to do with this. I am autistic, and while that is mostly invisible, it still means I have to suppress a lot of natural behaviors and tendencies. Autistic people are often harassed and/or abused by cops too. And if I weren't white, my interactions with police would be even more frightening than they already are. Yes, of course, not all small-town police are good, and small towns can foster deep-rooted corruption. I'd argue it's even easier for it to take root than in large cities, and once it's in, it's hard to get out. One commenter talking about their experiences at BLM protests in different cities and how the police responded sums it up very well, and I can attest to similar experiences at BLM protests in one of the communities I covered. By circling the wagons, I am primarily referring to police unions and their habit of protecting bad actors and attempting to force people out for naming police who do harm others. If you are commenting to tell me journalism bad, you're hilarious. You should take your routine to the comedy club. Please ask yourself why your favored politicians want you to not believe the people presenting evidence they are lying to you. Please refer to Godwin's law before any and all Nazi comparisons are deployed. I think one of the biggest problems is that the profession attracts many people that should not be in a position of power. I grew up in a small town where everyone knew everyone else. The people that were bullies in school became cops. They could still push people around, but now they had the power of the law behind them. Two of my relatives are police officers in a major city. One I believe is a decent person. The other is abusive and controlling to his own family, so I shudder to think how he treated people on the street. The police in the U.S. have no federal central authority, and the culture can vary a lot from location to location. In urban areas they can be a highly effective government service, or they can be just another street gang. In rural areas they can be well-respected community members, or just bullies with guns. Nothing is as bad as social media would have you believe. However, there is certainly an issue with cops abusing their power in USA. At least here in India we just get beat up with a stick. I'm a mixed black woman. I've had guns pointed at me twice. One there was an active shooter with the description white male, and I was so scared I was holding my laptop as a shield. The cop said, "Put the weapon down," and aimed at me. A white woman said quietly, "That girl doesn't match the description at all." I ended up having to throw my laptop in the grass, and after the whole ordeal picked it up later.